Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 15 huge Coronation Street spoilers for next week. Next week on Coronation Street, Nick and Leanne's relationship hits breaking point due to the Institute. Elsewhere, Ken is rushed to hospital following a nasty accident at home, and Summer returns with a new boyfriend. Here's a full collection of 15 big moments coming up. Days after being arrested over her traumatic past, Toya is shocked to receive a sinister delivery of yellow roses. It's clear that someone is cruelly taunting her over the tragic loss of Rose, the baby girl she lost. Toya tells Nick that Rowan must have been the one who reported her to the police with false allegations. When Leanne finds out what's going on, she admits that she told Rowan about Toya's history. Nick decides that he's had enough of Rowan and the Institute, so he threatens to end things with Leanne unless she cuts all ties with them. Leanne returns home to talk things through with Nick following their latest bitter argument. Nick questions Leanne on the nature of her relationship with Rowan, but she's annoyed by what he's insinuating and insists that she'd never be unfaithful. Nick and Toya then privately speak about a guilty secret they're both now sharing as they agree that a recent kiss between them was a big mistake. Rowan takes Leanne off for a ride on his motorbike, promising that he has a big surprise for her. Leanne is pleased when they arrive at a hotel restaurant, where Rowan puts her on a video call with Willow, the CEO of the Institute. Rowan is so impressed by Leanne's commitment to the group that he promises she'll soon be able to recruit new members herself. Toya is due to appear in court to face the music amid her defamation dispute with the Institute. However, her day takes an unexpected turn when she receives a call to let her know that Leanne has been in a motorbike accident. Toya rushes to A&E and speaks to a nurse about the call she received. What will the hospital tell her? Toya is contacted by the police, who've been carrying out an investigation following the revelation that she buried her stillborn baby in a park when she was 19. The police tell Toya that her baby can now be released for burial, which overwhelms her. Dee Dee tells George that he and Glenda would both avoid costly legal fees if they brought in a mediator to settle their dispute over ownership of the funeral business. Debbie offers to take on this role, and she moderates a firm discussion between the pair at the Rovers. Glenda and Michael are on cloud nine after spending the night together. Michael heads out to get on with his day, but it's not long before he returns to Glenda and they share a passionate kiss. Later in the week, Glenda infuriates George by revealing that rival firm Rest Easy is keen to buy Shuttleworths, which could solve their problems. This sparks another row between the siblings, but Michael weighs in. After announcing his new relationship with Glenda, Michael suggests that George should show her more respect. Glenda is delighted over Michael's protective behavior, and she assures him that she feels the same way about him. At Stu's birthday drinks, Bobby notices that Ken seems to be unsteady on his feet. Ken announces that he isn't feeling well and returns home. Bobby decides to check up on Ken at number 1. When there's no response to his knocking, he peers through the letterbox and spots Ken lying at the bottom of the stairs. Bobby calls an ambulance and Ken is rushed to hospital. Later, when Bobby returns home to collect his things, will Carla stick to her guns about how he has to go? Daniel and Steve pay a visit to Ken in hospital, where he's recovering following his fall. Ken is disappointed to learn that he'll need round-the-clock care once he returns home. Steve and Daniel promise Ken that the whole family will rally round to make sure he has the support he needs, but Ken seems unenthusiastic over the prospect of being cared for by them. D.S. Swain pays another visit to the factory to see Carla. She asks Carla if they can confirm a date for her daughter's work experience, following Carla's kind offer to train her up at Underworld. Paul attends his latest appointment with his MD nurse, accompanied by Billy. The nurse explains that Paul won't be able to use his stair lift at the flat as his weakened neck muscles get worse. What does this mean for Paul's future living arrangements? Paul receives a visit from a specialist who talks him through his new eye gaze equipment. This will allow Paul to use his eyes to control a computer and communication device. Summer returns from her trip to the U.S. and announces that she has a new boyfriend called Felix, who's waiting to meet Paul and Billy at the Rovers. Just as they're about to leave, Paul suffers a nasty fall down the stairs at the flat. Later, Paul takes some time to recover at home, and Todd turns up just as Summer arrives with Felix. How will Felix's first meeting with Summer's family go? Show bosses have cast former The Tower and Doctors actor Robin Morrissey in the role of Felix. Abby refuses to give up on her search for the online troll who keeps resharing the deep fake pictures which use her image. Needing a computer expert to help trace the troll's IP address, Abby realizes that Max could be the best person to help. Cassie remains in the bad books of Kevin, Abby, and Tyrone, which means that she's not welcome at the garage. She searches for another job and asks Steve about some shifts on the switch at streetcars. Steve turns her down, warning Cassie that she has a bad reputation. There's a positive update for Abby when the Weatherfield Gazette reports that the celebratory documentary about Corey's prison football team has been canceled. This follows Abby's emotional interview about the documentary and a public outcry. Max informs Kevin and Abby that there's no way of tracing the person who's uploading the deep fake videos, but Abby announces that she no longer cares who's tormenting her.